Hello, and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC 319, Plessis versus Chimaev. First, though, before we get into any actual breaking down, I got to bring in my co-host, uh, guy who's with me, guy who's the biggest Hamzat Chimaev fan in the world, UFC Genie. How you doing, Genie?
Man, you're putting words in my mouth here today, man. Fuck, I don't even know if I'm going with him. I'll get into that later, but man, I'm doing pretty good. I had a good fight night last night, 10-2. Did
10
good
and
on
2.
bets. We're rejuvenized. We're revitalized. We're back.
We are bets. I didn't do too well. I did okay. We'll talk, or maybe not on the betting show, but last night, how'd you like it? UFC Fight Night, Dolidze versus Hernandez. We're recording this on Sunday, in case you didn't figure it out. Um, let's do 3 stars. Go, you're a hockey fan, I'm assuming. Let's do 3 stars from the night.
3 stars from the night. Let me just quickly look back at it just so I'm not forgetting any person early on. But
Fair enough.
Hernandez first off,
Yeah,
massive gold star. Real people picked Roman Dolidze to beat Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and that is absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. He dog walked Dolidze, dragged his dead corpse across the octagon. It was
he
beautiful.
did. He did.
A second star, I mean, has to go to Andre Philly. I got cold feet on
Interesting.
this guy. I got cold feet on this guy, but I'm pretty sure on our prediction show last week we said we were gonna make him the underdog of the week, but I ended up switching and I ended up going with C Rod. I got cold feet.
Was it him or
Um,
Angela Hill that we made? Did you
I
pick
thought it
Yasmin
was
Lucindo?
Philly.
Okay, it might have been
I thought
Lucindo,
it
or
was
it might
Philly.
have
I
been
might have to
Philly.
rewatch that one. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
thought it was Philly. I and my third one, I'm gonna give it a CLD, man. I'll give it a
Wow.
CLD. He looked incredible against Eric Anders, and I predicted that one. I said Eric Anders got dropped by Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
CLD's getting it done. So that was
Uh,
really
yeah,
good.
I didn't think that would happen, but got to give it to Fluffy. My next two, though, I think I'm going two different ones. First one, I think you got to give it to Elijah Smith. No, that's
Oh,
crazy slam KO. I doubted him. Granted, he didn't look phenomenal. If Toshiomi Kazama was better at, well, jiu-jitsu, he probably would have won at least that round, or maybe not gotten slammed like that.
would you have finished that knee bar?
Oh, easy, bro. He would have. Listen, I see red, and then they do just tap out. Okay.
All right.
But no, like not the knee bar, but even the triangle. You hook the leg. All that. That's how you don't get slammed. It's jujitsu 101. And then he was also in. It wasn't a knee bar. He was using the thread of something. I think it was maybe like an outside heel hook, and he got. You know how dudes get their. I know you're a Muay Thai guy, inferior art, but you know how dudes get their feet in the other guy's like knee pit, and then kind of take the back from that. He did that, and then he tried to go for a submission when the back was right there, and I'm like, what are you doing? Anyway, um, so that's two, and then number three, gotta give it to. Mm, I'm debating between two. I'm going Jocelyn Edwards.
Okay.
Women's bantamweight finish. You don't see that too often. She finished the GOAT of women's bantamweight, Priscilla Cachoeira. Maybe just the women's MMA GOAT. Um,
Is that three finishes in a row for Jocelyn Edwards?
I think it is. It is neck crank, TKO, KO. And then for Priscilla Cachoeira, I feel like that's 5 straight where she's either finishing somebody or getting finished. So, you know, women's bantamweight, it's not back, but you got two women trying to keep it from turning into heavyweight. How about that? Um, so yeah, but that was last night's card. We'll recap the bets a little bit more on Tuesday. Or Wednesday. Let's jump into UFC Fight Night, or sorry, tonight's Fight Night. UFC 319, Duplessis versus Chimaev. Although if you take the main event, I think it could be a fight night. If you take that off, um, going down in Chicago, Illinois, United Center, it'll end up being 14 bouts. We'll talk about it in a little bit. We got 13 official right now, and then one will be official. drops Tuesdays, right? The Ultimate Fighter, I think. Tuesdays. Yeah, it shows you how much I've been keeping up. Um, and we'll have a 14th fight made official then. So, uh, yeah, some interesting fights on the card. It's pretty much stayed together. We have a replacement for JJ Aldrich against Karina Silva. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, hopefully the main event stays together. Hamzat is, he's kind of a pullout merchant. And we'll have to see. It's kind of crazy they don't have a backup. I guess is MVP the backup, Jared Cannonier maybe? But either way, Jeannie, let's hear your whole card rating.
Overall, I'll give this one. I'll be a bit stronger on my rating on this one. I went
Yeah.
light last week. I gave it a 5.5, and I think it ended up way outperforming what I thought it was going to be. So this one I'm going to say it's a solid 7.5. I think out of 10. It's a pretty good card, I'd say. You got a lot of good name value. Good. There's people coming into the UFC that hopefully live up to what they did outside of the company. We get to see another Kai Asakura fight. There's some good names on this card, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay. I'm gonna give like a B. Uh, is a B too kind? I don't know. I really don't like the co-main. I really didn't like when they made Will Murphy and Aaron Pico. Although, some of my favorites are on here, and I think it will be pretty entertaining. I do like some of the guys on top. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'll go a solid B, Maybe if they'd made a better co-main, this could have been like an A card, A minus maybe. But anyway, let's jump right into the first fight of the night. This is kind of is it a UFC fight? Is it not? Eh, Technically, I guess it is, but at the same time, it's at Ultimate Fighter season 33 finale. Uh, Ab- Alibi Idris versus Joseph Morales. So this is the 125-pound season. For those of you who have not been watching, the season is Daniel Cormier versus Chael Sonnen. They're not fighting, obviously. Um, flyweights and welterweights. We'll talk about the welterweight one in a little bit. This is the one we have official. Um, Idris beat Roybert Echeverria, and Morales beat Imanol Rodriguez. So two decent wins. Jeannie, I guess let me ask you this. Have you followed anything from Tough? Do you know either of these guys? And do you have a pick here, or should we just kind of talk about the two guys individually?
Um, that's a good question. So like I watched the first and second episode of Tough, and I have just been slacking, and I've not
Hmm.
kept up. Maybe I'll binge watch all of it before this Saturday. We'll see if I have time, but um, I'm gonna be honest. I had to look up Alibi or Alibi, however you say his name.
Probably be.
He got a good knee KO in his last time out on Tough.
Hmm.
It seemed to be pretty quick. Got it done and was running around the cage looking for Dana White. I don't know. I kind of like that energy from him. I looked up Joseph Morales. This dude's a returnee. He was in the UFC already. He has a win in the
Hmm.
UFC, but he also has two losses in the UFC, one by finish. So this is an interesting one. I don't
It's
really know where to go here. I'm gonna be honest. I probably am gonna back Alibi. Is that the right pronunciation? Alibi Adiris? I don't know.
I believe so. It's with Russian. Um, he probably speaks Kazakh and Russian, but with Russian names like this, you kind of have to know where the intonation is, so you kind of have to hear it because
Yeah.
sometimes Russian's really weird. There's one vowel that's stressed in the entire word, and you just have to hear it. You can kind of take a guess, but we'll go Alibi. Could be
Yeah, that'll be my pick, I think. I'll go
okay.
Alibi to knock out Joseph Morales inside the distance. We'll see how that goes. Don't
Yeah,
bank on it.
I'm not. There's no odds for this. I'd be shocked if odds drop. Maybe for this fight, maybe, but This is just kind of a weird one, and I'm going with Adiras too. Joseph Morales is a decent fighter, but he kind of had the easier path to the finals here on Tough, and he also like it's crazy because he has a win in the UFC and he has three UFC fights, but he doesn't have the better record here. Like he hasn't faced the better opponents. Um, I've watched a few of Idirs's fights, I guess before Tough, because I was scouting the prospects. I do not know why he lost his belt. He didn't change weight classes or anything. Maybe he popped for something way back in the day, but he's had plenty of good performances, including he can wrestle. He's fast on the feet. He's got some power. Um, a little bit suspect of a chin, I will say that, but I think he's going to beat up Joseph Morales here. I guess that's all we're really going to get out of this breakdown here. Recording on Sunday. Welterweight, we're not going to officially give a prediction for this because we don't know the fight yet. The episode hasn't come out yet, but we do know one of the finalists is Rodrigo Cisnando. I was a big fan of him coming in. He beat Jeff Creighton, and the last semifinal matchup will be Daniil Dunchenko versus Matt Dixon. If I had to guess, I'm guessing Daniil won that just based on what I know of them. And then I'm guessing so Daniil versus Rodrigo. I'm gonna pick Cezinando just because I think he's the better fighter and Daniil's kind of flawed, but I would pick him against Matt Dixon too. So I'm not 100% sure. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. It's just a weird one. Do you want to make a pick or do you just want to say
No, I'm not.
sweet?
I'm not going to do that one.
All right. Well,
I
let's
don't
jump
know.
into
We'll wait until the episode drops.
yeah. Let's jump into the um, actual UFC fights that we do have odds for. First up, Carine Silva versus Dion Barbosa. Um, Barbosa is the underdog, plus 170. Carine Silva minus 200. This is short notice reminder because J.J. Aldrich dropped out, so we're getting Dion Barbosa in here. Carine Silva is ranked. She's number 11 in the strawweight rankings. Uh, let's see, it's pretty much the same age, same reach, same height. Barbosa uh, fought in April, beating Diane Belbita, and Carine Silva last fought in November, where she lost the UD to Viviane Araújo. Close one, if I remember. 29-28, although it says UD. Um, so, Jeannie, I guess let's start officially here. You're up first on the we'll call it first. Who are you
Yep.
picking here in this exciting uh, opener,
So
whatever you want to call it?
I'm pretty sure that Vivian Araujo fight, Arujo, Carine Silva was supposed to win. She was the favorite going into that, and I'm pretty sure
Minus
Viviani, or ended,
300.
she ended up just like controlling her for most of the fight, and Carine Silva looked pretty bad.
Yeah,
But Barbosa just fought Belbita,
yeah.
retired Belbita, if I remember correctly. Belbita
I'm
does
gonna
she's
trust you
not
on
fight.
that.
I don't think she's fighting anymore. Um,
Okay.
and that's a step down from Carine Silva though.
Yeah.
Like, but Belbita, no shade at her. You know, she's the local legend. She's training.
You can
She
do a
was
little
training
shade.
over in. She trains close by. You know, she's in Niagara Falls, but
She is Canadian. I forgot that because people
yeah,
were like, "Do we include her in the Canadian parlay for what would that have been? UFC Edmonton?"
yeah. Good thing they didn't. If that was a question, um, if that was a question, good thing they didn't. But yeah, I think Carine Silva has she's gonna get this one done. It might be a close one because Belbita's ground game is no joke, but I do think that she's gonna end up outstriking Barbosa on the feet and take home a decision victory. And maybe she even gets some control time on Barbosa, but wouldn't bank on that. But I think Carine's gonna win this one.
Do you know what Franny Silva's takedown defense is?
No.
Zero.
Oh boy.
Zero. 0% she of the takedowns that have been proffered, she has.
How many fights has she been taken down in?
I don't think it's that many. Let me double check.
It's the Vivian Araujo fight and her Dana White Contender Series fight.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess nobody's tried takedowns, even though she fought Marina Moroz, which is you kind of expect Marina Moroz to try to take her down, no? Anyway, I think I'm picking Renee Silva here just because I feel like the momentum's on her side, and she can probably keep it on the feet. Uh, Dione Barbosa is not the greatest grappler, not doesn't have a great accuracy, and she has lost to let me tell you one of the losses on Dione Barbosa's record just uh to get you in the mood. Josiane Nunez. She got knocked out by Josiane Nunez. Um, so I am picking Renee Silva here. Not super confident, kind of a weird one, but you know what? We move on. Uh, let's
Josiane
go
Nunes.
Let's go to Nursultan Ruzaboyev versus Brian Battle. Ruzaboyev, the underdog here, plus 145, Battle minus 170. The Butcher is coming back up after he missed weight at welterweight. This is his first fight at welterweight since the was this since Tough? Yeah, since Tough. Well, I guess the technical Tough. It wasn't actually, but you remember Trayshawn Gore was, fell out of the fight, and then they fought after. So since that, he's dropped back down, come back up. On the other side, Ruzaboyev, uh, two-fight win streak. He beat Dustin Stoltzfus in May. I remember I picked Dustin Stoltzfus in that fight, and I don't hate that pick in retrospect, I'll be honest. Pretty much same age. Ruzaboyev is going to have 4 inches of height, but Battle is going to have an inch of reach on Ruzaboyev. Um, so let's go with me here. I This one was actually tougher than I thought. Right away, I thought, yeah, Nursultan Ruzaboyev is going to kick the shit out of Brian Battle. Um, and then I looked at the numbers a little bit, and I wasn't entirely swayed, but I think I still am going to go with Ruzaboyev here as an underdog. Um, he looked okay in the grappling against Dustin Stoltzfus, but he's got power in his hands. I think his natural weight class is 185, so I'm kind of throwing out the Joaquin Buckley fight down at welterweight. Um, and I really didn't like how Brian Battle looked against Randy Brown. I didn't like how he looked against who was it? Renat. That's a big one in my memory here. It was a while ago, a few years, but still, that was a really bad loss. And I just don't like guys in transition, moving organizations, moving up and down weight classes. The first fight before or after that kind of happens, retirement too. I'm kind of like, there's some bad juju there. So give me Boyev, my first underdog of the card, I believe. If we're guessing right about the odds for the tough finale. So you looked at me like I'm dumb, so I'm guessing you're going Brian Battle here.
I was listen when you first said Ruzabow like at the start, and you're like, oh, Ruzabow if he's the underdog. I kind of got a. I was like, you're picking Ruzabow?
I am picking Boyev. Yeah,
That's crazy, man. No, I think Brian Battle's getting it done. I could see him
really.
out grappling Ruzaboyev. I have not been that impressed with Ruzaboyev's grappling. His striking, I mean, eh. I've seen him get outstruck before, but
Would it help you to know that he knocked out Eric McConaughey and Cody
and,
Brundage couldn't knock out
and
Eric
Cody
McConaughey?
Brundage couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that one. I don't want to talk about that one at all. But listen, Brian Battle, I feel like you're disrespecting the dude. Um, I get he didn't look incredible against Randy Brown, but Randy Brown is massive. Like he's got a bigger reach than or he's got this. Well, let me pull up his reach real quick. He's got a bigger reach than Ruzaboyev does at a
Yeah,
smaller
but
weight class.
he's not bigger than Ruzaboyev.
Yeah, but I think it was the reach that Randy Brown's reach is really wonky. It gives a lot of people issues. I think Brian Battle is he's moving up. He doesn't really have to worry about a tough weight cut. If he makes this weight, he can. I think he could out grapple Ruzaboyev. I think he could like exploit him on the ground, get some good ground and pound off. I don't think Ruzaboyev is just going to outstrike him on the feet either. But I'm taking Brian Battle here, man.
You going Brian Battle? All
Um,
right.
like
Ginger's got to stick
prop
together,
wise,
right?
yeah, I think I'm gonna say Brian Battle wins by a decision.
Decision. Okay. I do think it's going to distance. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of transitions, lightweights next up: Jakar Close and Edson Barbosa. Barbosa minus 150, Close plus 130. Um, this is Barbosa's first fight up at lightweight in how long has it been? 5 years? Yeah, the last one was 2019. Paul Felder, co-main of Habib and Poirier. I thought he won that fight actually, if I remember correctly. He won one of the fights, or he should have won. Maybe he should have won both. I forget. Anyway, um, he's been out for a while since May of last year, where he lost to Jerome Murphy in the main event. Jakar Close has been out since December when he got knocked out by Joel Alvarez in Tampa. I was there actually. Um, 5 inches of reach for Barbosa, 2 inches of height. And he's only going to be 2 years older at 39 because Close is 37 years old. So, Jeannie, you going with the Brazilian or the American who looks Brazilian?
I don't think you can pick Drakkar close here. I don't.
Really?
You look at Barbosa, and I get like he's got a good amount of losses on his record, but you actually look at these guys that he's losing to, like Lerone Murphy, Bryce Mitchell, Giga Chikadze, Dan Ige, Paul Felder, Justin Gaethje, Kevin Lee, Habib. Are any of these guys close to Drakkar Close's level? You tell me.
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah. I would put Drakkar Close. We're talking just losses, right?
Yeah.
I would put Drakkar Close in there with Giga Chikadze.
Would you? Okay. I think Giga Chikadze would do bad things to Drakkar Close if they fought. Um,
Really?
I do. I think
Maybe Danny Gay, maybe Bryce Mitchell. Not Ron Murphy, but yeah. Anyway, continue.
I think Drakkar Close. He's coming off of a very bad finish in his last one, and I get
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. That was December. Like it's not like he's coming back too soon, but he's at a massive reach disadvantage here. 5 inches is
yeah,
huge, and
it
Edson
is.
Barbosa is going to have that lighter
Wait,
man
hang on.
skill. He's going to be moving faster.
I need you to call somebody and say that again. You
Edson
say,
Barbosa.
oh, 5 inches is huge? It's not what I
Oh,
was told.
come on.
Yeah, the
Oh,
reach is huge. Huge portion of why I'm picking Barbosa here. I really wanted to pick Close, but he just got knocked out, and Barbosa can still crack. We know that. Um, I think Close can wrestle though, and I think this. I just mentioned it last fight. Going up and down is a big no-no for me. The first fight. Look at who was it? I'll think of it. Somebody just went up or down and lost. But yeah, I think Barbosa still has the power. I think that's going to be the big thing here. Hopefully he's still fast enough. I mean, he can throw spin and shit all he wants, even if he's you know, a little slower and close. He can wrestle. Don't get me wrong. He can wrestle here. He can win. I'm not confident, but I'm going Barbosa. So, next up, another silly fight. Lightweights who also used to be featherweights. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Chase Hooper, your big favorite, minus 300. Hernandez plus 250 on the other side. Hooper's going to be 7 years younger at 25. He's going to have 5 inches of height, 2 inches of reach, um, 3 fight winning streak, or sorry, no, 5 fight winning streak since moving up to lightweight. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. So now they're giving him Alexander Hernandez, who came up to lightweight again and is on a two-fight win streak since coming up. Kurt Hallbaugh and Austin Hubbard. So this one's me. Um, this one a little closer to me, honestly, than the line suggests. Uh, Alexander Hernandez has pretty good takedown defense, 71%. And these are against guys, killers like Austin Hubbard, Kurt Hallbaugh, Damon Jackson. No, I'm just kidding. Although Damon Jackson did get three takedowns on him and did beat him, and then retired. And Billy Q got two takedowns. Renato Moicano got two takedowns. Um, so it's probably going to happen. I think Hernandez's best path to victory here is just to stay on the feet and try to pitter patter. I don't think he's going to knock out. Chase Hooper's looked pretty durable since coming up to lightweight. Um, but I think he can get it done. He's got good hands. His hands are developing. He's what did he call himself? The Goon God or something? Of you remember that?
Yeah.
He was doing it too much or something. I don't know. Um, and he just beat a guy in Jim Miller, who, yes, I know they fought not too long ago, and Alexander Hernandez beat Jim Miller, but Jim Miller and Alexander Hernandez are like on the same level of fighter for me, and Chase Hooper's just like one up. So give me Hooper here, even if I don't like the line. What about you? You going with your lookalike?
I am going with Chase Hooper.
Hmm.
What do you think I look like Chase Hooper?
Yeah,
You think so? I don't know.
I do.
All right. I guess
I'll put
we're
up a
both goon
poll.
gots.
I'll put up a
Um,
poll on people in our group chat.
okay. Anyways, I think one Hernandez he really relied on his control time and ground game in his last fight against Hollabaugh. Hollabaugh still had a close submission attempt early on in the first round. Chase Hooper, this dude, he just tries new shit when he's out in the cage at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's not like that Jim Miller fight. There were so many submission attempts in that fight that I remember, and I couldn't name a single one of those submission holds that he's trying. He's doing some just weird ass black belt shit I've never seen in my life, and I think he's gonna submit Alexander
Ooh,
Hernandez,
submit. Interesting. Okay.
which is interesting. He's only ever been submitted once. He Renato Moicano a few fights ago, but listen, Chase Hooper, he's got that skill. He's got the submission ability. I think he's going to be controlling Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez, his path to victory is keeping it on the feet.
Hmm.
And even if he does that, I think he gasses out. His gas tank's no good. I think Chase Hooper could get a late submission or an early one. So I'm going Chase Hooper, round two submission, right in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I would not pick submission, but hey, that's not the show for this, is it? Let's jump to women's strawweight. Lupita Godinez, I will refer to exclusively from now on as Lupi, uh, and Jessica Andrade. Do you know what Jessica Andrade's nickname is? Or well, I
Looking at
guess
it right now,
what it means?
I have no idea. How do you even say that?
Pate Scata, I believe. Let me look this up because I think it's something funny.
I'm sorry, did you say Poopy Godinez?
Loopy.
Okay, I thought you said poopy
Loopy.
because she
No.
had that toilet incident in her last fight. I
That's in
totally.
your head, buddy. Pile driver is Jessica Andrade. It's Bate Scata. Um, Andrade is coming back down to strawweight. This is a strawweight, right? Yeah. After getting two consecutive losses up at women's flyweight. We were actually in attendance for the last loss against Jasmine Justicius. Before that, she was on a two-fight win streak at strawweight. Um, on the other side, Godinez bounced back from a two-fight losing streak with a UD win over Julia Pilastri. Uh, Andrade is coming back down, transition fight, uh, but she has an inch of reach and an inch of height for Loopy. Only 2 years of age, or only 2 years older is Andrade. She's still only 33, despite, it feels like she won the title, what was it, 7 years ago? Let me look this up. It was 2019, 6 years ago. Isn't that crazy? how time flies. Um, and she's been in this game since 2011. So of that, even at 33, this one is you, right? I'm all out
Think
of
so.
I'm
I
all out
think
of
so.
sorts here. Let's just go with you. Are you going with the pile driver or Poopy Godinez?
I'm scared. I'm very scared about this one. I really like Loopy. I've been on her hype train, if you want to call it that.
Sure. Poop train.
She looked good against Julia Pilastri, and that's a good win to have. She fought through. That was in Mexico, I'm pretty sure, right? Moreno Urseg.
It
That
was.
was
Did she
Mexico
look good?
City. She did look good until the third round where she was kind of gassing out, but that's Mexico City's elevation. I feel that's
Yeah.
they're way above sea level, and a lot of people gas out there. So I'm not going to hold that against her. She's fought tough competition. Virna Jandiroba, going against. She's going to be fighting for a title soon. I think if she wins her next fight. I have no
I,
idea who she's fighting next, even. But
she's not fighting anybody. I got to imagine she's next either way, right?
do you think? Yeah, I would think so. She's not. She
Depends on
doesn't have
what.
a match.
No, I think it depends on what happens with Wei Li. Because Wei Li, do you think she's going up?
I could see them doing the Wei Li Shevchenko super fight.
Do you think they make her vacate though?
Yeah, they will.
I
I
then
mean,
I
that's
think
that's the sentiment they've set in the past couple months, right?
I think either um Virna fights Wei Li next if she stays, or she fights Mackenzie Dern for either an interim or the real title. Either way, continue.
So, the way Loopy has lost her the fight against Virna and the fight against Mackenzie Dern was grappling. Was she got kind of out grappled and couldn't do enough in her moments on the feet. I could see her cardio kickboxing around Jessica Andrade the way that uh, Natalia Silva did and beat her to a decision. I could see her taking down Jessica Andrade, mixing up some control time and getting a decision that way. So I'm going to say Lupi Godinez takes home this decision. I am worried Jessica Andrade is a tough cookie, but I'm going Loopy. Give me Loopy.
I don't want to pick Jessica Andrade here. Who's a better grappler, Mackenzie Dern or Lupi Godinez?
Mackenzie Dern.
Mackenzie Dern. Do you remember that Mackenzie Dern fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lupi Godinez could not take down Mackenzie Dern or Virna or Tabitha Ricci or Angela Hill, if I remember correctly. And she lost all but one of those fights. And the Tabitha Ricci one was a split. I think her wrestling fails when she's not facing, um, no offense to Julia Plastri, but bums, you know? Like uh, sorry, she got two takedowns on Mackenzie Dern, but no control time. That was a stand-up fight for the most part, if I remember correctly. Um, he only one takedown on Angela Hill, zero for one against Tabitha Ricci, excuse me. Um, and yeah, I think that when she can't get her wrestling down, she just flounders. Except for, against bums on the feet who she can beat. And I think Jessica Andrade still hits like a truck, will be at her right weight class. You know what? Fuck it. Give me Jessica Andrade here. I think she's going to knock out Loopy. She still hits like a truck, and sometimes that's all you need. And I think,
Knockout?
yeah, oh yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Um, so yeah, give me Jessica Andrade here. Not super confident, but especially as a dog, why not? Um, let's jump it into. I think this was what I called my favorite fight of the night in our preview show last week.
Hit me.
Middleweight, we're going. Excuse me, I'll laugh on the odds. Mikhail Olejniczuk versus Gerald Meerschaert. -210 for Mikhail, plus 180 for Meerschaert. Oh, excuse, I didn't do the rankings for that last fight. You know what? You can look them up if you want. It's women's. They're if they won two fights, they're pretty much ranked. Mikhail Olejniczuk had a crazy UFC career, 8-7 with one no contest. He's coming off a knockout over your favorite guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Cedric Dumas.
Dumas. Yeah. Before that, three-fight losing streak. On the other side, Mearshart, I mean, vet of all vets, on a two-fight losing streak of his own, most recently against Brad Tavares. Although the other one was against RDR, so, looking good in hindsight. This is just one of those matchups where Gerald Mearshart has never, he's only won by decision twice, none in the UFC, and Mikhail has only won by decision four times. I believe only one of them in the UFC. Yeah, only one in the UFC. So these are two finishers. Uh, well, Jake Chuck, 7 years younger at 30, but Mearshart's going to have 3.5 inches of reach and an inch of height over Mikhail. Uh, I intentionally did not do a lot of tape study here because I just love these two guys. And I feel like I know how this fight's going to go. And it's going to go just stupid. It's going to be the silliest fight you've seen. It could be bad. I really hope it's not bad. But more likely than not, we're going to get GM3 taken down. Um, Old Shake Chuck or Old Shake Chuck knocking out GM3, probably in the first round. I guess I'm going with Old Shake Chuck, although I feel like GM3 could get it done. He just does not have the takedowns. Like in that Brett Tavares fight, I think he went 0 for 8. Yeah, and I had him to get a takedown at plus 230 or something. Um, and he didn't get a single one. And that sucked. And on the other side, OJ Chuck, he has been taken down, um, but not in a while since Kyle Bahayo. That's a good guy who takes you down. Cody Brundage took him down 3 times, not as good of a guy, but I think he can keep it on the feet long enough. GM3, we've seen his chin does not look great. Um, well, ever. So yeah, give me although I love GM3 and I love grappling, give me Michal, unfortunately.
So this has been on my mind for a few minutes now since you said his name. So do you know who Cedric Dumas is fighting next?
They gave him another fight?
They gave him another fight as per Big Marcel a few
Oh
days
yeah,
ago.
I saw at this is at UFC Noche for some reason, right?
They remade it. They remade the
Why?
fight.
Why would they
We
remake
are
this?
getting that Zachary Reese first round KO. I'm telling you, we're getting
Ugh.
that Zachary Reese first round KO. This was supposed to happen. Instead, he had to fight that freak Azamat Bekoev.
Why do you think why do you think Dumas is still signed to the
I have no
UFC?
clue how he's still signed. Honestly, if I have no idea how he's still signed.
Well, hey, domestic abusers tend to stick together, right? Maybe
Yeah,
Dana's got a
yeah.
soft spot there.
But
Ugh.
anyways, let me get into my pick here. So people forget Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is a fighting nerd now since his
He
last
is.
fight.
He is.
He just beat Cedric Dumas as we just said in his last fight. He got crowned in the ring. They gave him those silly glasses with no lenses,
Yeah.
and now he's officially a fighting nerd.
I
I
like
think this
those
is gonna be
glasses.
there.
You don't like those
I'm not
glasses?
shitting on them. I'm just calling them
All right,
silly.
all right,
I'm
sorry.
just
I
calling them
keep
silly.
interrupting.
But listen, he is going to have a show out performance here. Gerald Mearshart, he's no chump. He's no chump, but he's been knocked out, 4 times in his career? A bunch in the first round. Joe Pfeiffer, Hamzat, other names. He's been knocked out a bunch of times in his career. And I think Macau's going to be pushing that pace early on. There is a reach advantage for Gerald. Nearly 4 inches of reach for Gerald Mearshart. But I think Macau still gets it done pretty early on. He's been training with pretty good guys over in Brazil, and I think he's going to be able to at least stop a takedown, maybe. So we'll say
Yeah.
Macau in the first round by knockout.
Okay. Interesting. I agree, but I think it might go a little later. And I think we might get like a weird sloppy fight in the second or third. But I'm excited for it. Next up, King Green. I think he officially changed his name, so I think I'm just gonna go with King Green, even though it's one of those where He's been saying he's going to change it for 10 years versus Carlos Diego Ferreira, lightweights minus 160 for Ferreira, plus 140 for Green. This has come down. I saw earlier in the week, CDF was minus 250, I want to say, and now he's minus 160. This is an old man fight. This is a vet fight. 40 years old for CDF, 38 for King Green, uh, 5'9", 5'10", 3 inches of reach for CDF, who is coming off a loss in January to Grant Dawson, and King Green is coming off back-to-back round one knockouts uh, in March, the most recent one. So, Jeannie, how do you see this one going?
I hate that I have to pick someone here, but it's
Yeah,
got to be Diego Ferreira, I guess.
Cam.
I can't pick Bobby. I can't pick
Yeah,
Bobby
are you dead naming
after.
him?
Yeah, I'm I'm not calling him whatever he wants me to call him. Um, Diego, he just fought Grant Dawson. I feel like that's a pretty tough fight. Grant Dawson needed that win against him too. He had just taken a kind of a bad loss before. I think that was right before that Diego Ferreira fight. Grant Dawson lost, right? Or was it? It was
Yeah,
Joe
that was
Selecki and then Diego Ferreira. I think
the King
maybe.
Green.
Yeah, but I think he might have fought Joe Selecki in between. I might be.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't keep up with the career of Grant Dawson too heavily.
Yeah, but he looked good against Diego Ferreira. But I think Diego Ferreira still is going to take this. He's got a reach advantage over Bobby. Bobby's boxing ain't bad. He's gonna be doing this, the straight arm thing, trying to do some jabs and shit. But I think he is gonna fold, and I think Diego. Do you think Diego knocks him out? I don't. I think he
Uh,
probably does.
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No, it's an old man fight. I don't often think knockouts happen in old men fight, but I could be wrong.
I'm
I
going
do think he
Diego though.
wins, though. I do think he wins. He's in the past few years, the only time he loses is when guys take him down. Um, you know, Grant Dawson got six, Rebeshki got four, and he won that fight. Uh, Gamrot got four, Gillespie got four, Daniel Darius got five. And then CDF got three against Anthony Pettis, three against Rebeshki. I think this is going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. I think CDF might mix in some grappling here. But yeah, uh, I think he's the less washed of the old guys, right? And also a little bit more power. King Green's not like a knockout guy, and a little bit of reach. So also not coming off two direct back-to-back knockouts in like 9 months. I guess it's 9 months, but still. Or getting put out, and then the Jalen Turner one before that. So, yep, give me CDF. Do you know King Green was ranked recently? Not
Bobby,
that long ago. I
Bobby,
want to, sure. He was ranked. I think even in the Hoofy fight, he was ranked.
was he really?
I want to say so. Anyway, I know he was versus Patty because that's how Patty got his ranking. Next up, two guys who are ranked. Let me get the numbers right. Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. Number 11, Tim Elliott versus number 15, Kaya Sakura. Despite those numbers, Kai's the big favorite, minus 270, plus 210 for Tim Elliott. Um, Tim is 7 years older at 38, uh, but Kai will have an inch of reach, sorry, 3 inches of reach, an inch of height. Obviously, he made his UFC debut back in December, and he lost by a rear naked choke to Pantoja. And Tim Elliott, we haven't seen him in a while, which is he usually fights a lot, but 2023, December 2023, he's been out for a year and a half when he beat Sumaderji. So this one is me, right? Yeah, you picked the other one. Uh, I think you got to go Kaya here. I really don't want to because I think Kaya he it's how high you rate the skills of Pantoja, who's a generational talent, but is his takedown defense, is Esakura's takedown defense just that bad? Or is Pantoja just that good? I think it's a little bit of both. Um, Tim's been out for a while. He's at a reach disadvantage. He um has been yeah, has he been knocked out before? No, but
Tim Elliott,
yeah,
once ever.
once ever. But he's had a few like knockdown like club and sub. I think that's how Ren Rovell and Figgy got him, knocked him down and then choked him out.
I don't
Um,
know. Look at his stats. None of them say knockdowns.
really?
Yeah,
I know the Figgy one was. I thought the Brandon Royval one was too. Um,
the Figgy one. It doesn't even say there was a knockdown there.
what? Okay,
There's a
maybe I'm
submission.
hallucinating. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, uh, give me Kaya Sakura here. I think he takes, if not knocks him out, I think he takes 2 rounds. I think Tim Elliott can wear on him and might like if Tim Elliott wins, I think it's gonna be like a late finish, just kind of wearing him down and getting him to the mat. But I don't really see that happening. So give me Kaya Sakura here, even if it's kind of gross.
I'm really worried about this one. I'm really worried
Yeah,
about this one. I I want to pick Kaya Sakura by knockout. I really do. Tim Elliott, he's got a killer chin. From what I was just studying there, he doesn't get knocked down. He shot a takedown on Figueredo, it looks like, and got subbed by a guillotine or something like that.
I think that was he got hit and like either he
So,
just got like hit enough to shoot a bad takedown. How about that?
okay, so it was like a rocked on the feet type thing. I
Yeah,
could see Kaya Sakura getting him out of there though. You look at you said he's might have bad takedown defense. He stopped 4 of the 7 takedowns from Pantoja, and I
it's
get
just
like he.
it's just so tough to know what that means, though. You know,
Yeah, I
it's just one
understand
fight.
that. I understand that, but even that last takedown attempt that Pantoja got on him, it was right when he like jumped up and was throwing a flying knee on Pantoja. He was throwing some devastating shots. He wanted to get Pantoja out of there early on.
Yeah,
It's just I don't think Tim Elliott is gonna be that good. I think Kaya
yeah,
Sakura, he's really dynamic. He's wiry, and I think he's gonna throw some crazy shit, and he's gonna knock out Tim Elliott in the first or second round, most likely. I think, but I don't know. I'm really worried about this one. I could see Kaya Sakura just getting a decision, but
yeah.
I don't want to give Tim Elliott that much credit.
You never know here. It's like with guys like Kaya Sakura, you just kind of have to. Um, the level of competition is just so different, and the fights even are so different than in Ryzen. There's no cage. The rules are different. Um,
Soccer kicks.
Soccer kicks. There's like half of Tim Elliott's game is cage wrestling, and that's why guys coming over from Ryzen have not had that much success. Like you look at Manel Kopp too. There's a guy on Twitter. I don't know his name. He's not gonna care if I shout him out, even if I did know his name. But um, who like has put together how uh, countless documents and like breakdowns about how cage wrestling has changed MMA. And you look at guys. Um, anyway, I won't bore you with technical jujitsu nerdy wrestling stuff, but it's different, you know? It's different. Maybe he just needed to fight to adjust, and he's like, yeah, the cage was a big deal, and he gets back on track. Um, all right, well, let's jump up to middleweight. We got a weird one here. MVP Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier. MVP's minus 175, Jared Cannonier is plus 150. There's another old guy fight. Page is 38, Cannonier's 41. MVP, despite coming up in weight, I guess he's not technically coming up in weight, is he? Because he fought Star Bullet at middleweight too. Maybe he just stayed up. Either way, he is going to have an inch and a half of reach and 4 inches of height on Cannonier. Last fought in Saudi Arabia, beat Sharamagomedov up at welterweight or up at middleweight. Jared Cannonier on the other side had that knockout win of Gregory Robocop in February in the fourth round. So this one is me Um, oh, these guys are ranked too. I'm gonna keep forgetting that. Uh, MVP is ranked at welterweight, where he's number 15. I thought that you could have ranked him in both divisions too. At middleweight, though, Jared Cannonier is ranked eighth. So top, we'll call him top 10. I think MVP is better than 15, but anyway. Um, and I'm going MVP here. This is one of those fights. You could tell me any single thing happens. I'm gonna believe you. MVP wrestles. Jared Cannonier wrestles. One of them knocks out the other. They just stay against the cage for 15 minutes. Um, I do think it's going the distance, and I want to say that MVP is just trickier, and he can make more things happen, and he's not going to get wrestled. But Jared Cannonier's big. He's a big guy. He used to be a heavyweight, so um, super weird fight. Almost zero clue what's going to happen, but I think MVP just has that experience and that cagecraft. So let's see, Jeannie.
Yeah, you got to go with MVP here. This guy doesn't get outstruck. You look at any of his UFC fights, he's never been outstruck in the UFC yet. Even
I
Ian,
can't imagine him Bellator either.
yeah, I mean the one time he got knocked out before, but
Yeah, not
he
outstruck though.
doesn't get outstruck. He even made Ian Gary, who said Ian Gary was raving before that fight. He's gonna make he's gonna be the next era of strikers. He's gonna make MVP look terrible. He said all this, all that, just to turn into a fucking grappler that was holding on to his back for dear life. MVP made him look like that. Jared Cannonier is at a reach disadvantage here. He just got a good win against Gregory Rodriguez, but people forget, man, Gregory Rodriguez gassed out hard in that fight and completely
Right.
choked a finish in the first round after knocking down Jared Cannonier. I think MVP is going to be at range. I can't see Jared Cannonier winning on the ground against MVP. He barely shoots takedowns, 0.46 average every 15 minutes. That's not a lot of takedown attempts, and he only hits 44% of them that he shoots. So I can't see him taking down Michael Venom Page. I can see Michael Venom Page kind of floating around the ring, dancing around, beating him up to a decision victory. Maybe a pretty cool knockout moment, maybe we could see MVP. Like if he's doing that good in this fight, man, maybe he gets like a crazy combo going, maybe gets like a spinning back elbow or something on Jared Cannonier. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I think MVP's winning this fight on the feet to a
yeah,
decision.
probably. All right, next up, Carlos Praches, which is the correct pronunciation of his name. All right,
Yep.
I double checked it. I made sure. Minus 240 against Jeff Neal, plus 205. Praches, the Nightmare, is coming off that UD loss to Ian Machado Gary in April. I maintain that that is a draw. That fight was a draw. Okay. Zero bias, despite the Fighting Nerds shirt hanging up in my closet that I will be wearing on Saturday. Jeff Neal has been out since October, where he beat RDA in that weird leg injury. It was an injury, but he kind of just made it happen too. Because anyway, ranked guys again. Uh, let's see where we at here. Jeff Neal's 11, Crutches is 12, so makes a ton of sense. Crutches is going to have 3 inches of reach, 2 inches of height, and Jeff Neal is going to be 3 years older at 34 to 31 for Precious. I can't remember if I said the odds or not, but minus 240 plus 205. And this one is Eugenie. Let's hear it.
Carlos Prates to knock out Jeff Neal. Um,
Okay.
so I could have some hesitation here, but it would completely rely on the fact that Jeff Neal would like take down Carlos Prates, and I could really rely on that. But he's only got a 50% takedown defense, barely shoots takedowns, like 0.56 every 15 minutes. That's Jared Cannonier levels right there, man. And
Yeah.
Carlos Prates, I mean, he did lose to Ian Gary with the grappling, but he's got an 83% takedown defense still, so that's a pretty expert level. Like he doesn't get taken down that much. You
Yeah.
would think guys like Mitch Ramirez could have done it. You would think that Neil Magny would have been able to do it, or Trevin Giles, but none of these guys were able to take him down. Ian Gary was a few times, but he still had troubles in that fight taking him down consistently. He missed 15 takedowns in that fight.
Hmm.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I'm gonna say Carlos Prates knocks out Jeff Neal in the second round. That's gonna be my pick. I
I
like it
think
a
this is
lot. He's
going
got
to
a reach
decision.
advantage. You think
I
so?
think this is going to be a Crutch's decision. Jeff Neal is tough. He is a tough cookie. Um, and he hasn't been knocked out since the regional scene, since Kevin
Oh,
Holland. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I didn't know this. You remember Martin Sano? The he's the he's friends with Nate and Nick Diaz, and he like got brought in the UFC and then lost to Matthew Semelsberger in like 15 seconds. You don't remember this? I'll tell you about it after. Anyway, apparently Martin Sano has a win over Jeff Neal back on the regional scene. But yeah, he's fought some punchers. He went to war with Luque before Luque's brain bleed. I think he caused brain bleed, right? Um,
did.
Neil Magny does not hit hard. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson does, though. Mike Perry does. Nico Price does. Um, Shavkat and me and Machado Gary certainly do. And he hasn't been knocked out. And if I remember correctly, let me take a look at his stats. He's never been knocked down either. Um, no, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, never mind. Once against Nico Price way back in the day, but that's Nico Price. He's just a crazy man. And Crutches, I think he's going to be a little hesitant after his last loss. You said grappling. That was on the feet too. Imachal Gary outboxed uh, Crutches for the first few rounds. Um, and I think he's going to be a little hesitant. I do think he's going to win here. He's got the reach. He's got the strength. He's got the cigarette strength too. Um, and I think he takes home a dub here. Jeff Neal, he's got power, but he just doesn't bring anything that I think would frustrate Praches too much, you know? And I don't think he's technical on the feet like uh, Machado Gary to enough to frustrate Praches. Um, yeah. Next fight, short notice kind of for both people. What about a month out it was made? Um, Orone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Murphy's going to be the favorite. Favorite, right? Let me find the odds here. No, Aaron Pico's the favorite. Minus 145 plus 125 for Orone Murphy. The Miracle Murphy is undefeated, 8-0-1 in the UFC, coming off that UD win over Josh Emmett, where he actually got people to boo in the Apex for, I think, the first time ever. On the other side, Aaron Pico making his UFC debut, coming from Bellator on a three-fight winning streak. Hasn't fought since last February, though, so a year and a half. So, a few warning signs. This is 3 rounds, I believe. Yeah, 3 rounds. Murphy's going to be 6 years older. He's 34. Pico's still only 28. Um, inch of height, 2.5 inches of reach for Urome Murphy. Um, I will go first here. I believe this is going to be boring, and I think it's going to be a Urome Murphy win. I don't like it, but I don't think he's going to get knocked out. He just fought he's fought power punchers for the last 3 fights and won all of them. Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barbosa. And he's looked good in all those fights. He hasn't really let them hit him. And you look at Pico on the other side, how does he win? 69% of his victories are by knockout. He's just kind of a guy who just always looks for that power shot. He does have a collegiate wrestling background and a like amateur whatever real wrestling background, but he doesn't use it that much, and I think there's a reason why. Um, Like he gets tired, and I think Gordon Murphy just kind of puts it on him. Maybe survives a scare here and takes a decision that is pretty boring. So that's me. Jeannie, you going with the Brit here or the American?
God. I talked this fight up a bit last week. I
Yeah.
think I might. I don't know. I'm getting. I'm a little worried. Aaron Pico.
Ranked number
I
six ranked
really,
Lerone Murphy too. Excuse me.
I really want Aaron Pico to get this done against Leroy Murphy.
Yeah,
I don't hate Leroy Murphy though. I don't think he like.
really?
He did get a lot of flack for that Josh Emmett fight. I will admit it was a little slow in the past in like the fourth and fifth maybe,
All right.
but
It was awful.
the first couple rounds were he was winning against Josh Emmett. He was doing good.
Yeah.
This will be a fun fight. I think they will be swinging in the first and second round. I think Leroy Murphy has most likely to be mixing things up like compared to Aaron Pico. He's got a much better chance to like mix in takedowns and maybe have Aaron Pico against the fence or something like that. But I really do want to pick Aaron Pico. I do. He
Mm.
something about him. He's enticing me. But I'm gonna trust my gut and I'm gonna say Leroy Murphy takes home a decision victory here. But I could see him cracking Aaron Pico. He's been knocked out a couple times before. Like I don't think this is gonna be a boring fight. I think this is gonna be a fun on the feet. It's gonna be
Murphy
fun.
doesn't have a finish since Makwan Amirkhani.
Yeah.
Um, and that just doesn't like he hasn't finished guys who get finished. And that to me just doesn't um make me think he's gonna knock out Aaron Pico or anything. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Um, all right, main event time. The fight we've all been waiting for, the best fight on the card, uh, by far, best fight of the month. DDP, Dricus Du Plessis versus Hamzat Chimaev. Number one, well, champion Dricus Du Plessis against number three, Hamzat Chimaev. Number four versus number 14, pound for pound fighters. Um, Whenever you get two guys on the pound for pound list, I think the last one was no, because Dustin wouldn't have been on there. Was it Charles and Ilya? I feel like it had to be Charles and Ilya, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Sorry,
that.
I'm fully blanking out right now, man. I'm just
Either way, Hamza Shemaev, the challenger, pretty big favorite, minus 210, plus 180 for the defending champion, still knocks. Same age, pretty much. They're both 31. Hamzat's going to have an inch of height, but DDP is going to have an inch of reach. Hamzat has been out since last October when he beat Robert Whitaker, undefeated, 13-0, 8-0 in the UFC. Sorry, 14-0, 8-0 in the UFC. DDP on the other side just beat Sean Strickland in February. This will be his third title defense. Yeah, if he wins. Um, Crazy fight, huh? I'm kind of glad I don't have to pick first here, Jeannie. Let's hear it.
oh my god, man.
Yeah,
This is
I
on the
know, right?
fly. I've been going back and forth for at least a month now. I in my head I've been playing out scenario after scenario, what's gonna happen. Listen, I get Hamzat's looked really good. But you see these clips going around of this like takedown on Robert Whitaker. He shot it halfway across the cage. I don't think
Yeah,
he's landing that shit on DDP. Robert Whitaker, he's shown I don't think he has it anymore. You saw that in his last fight against Reiner de Ritter. He completely choked to finish. He got fucking beat up with these wonky ass knees and wonky ass jabs from Reiner de Ritter. That's not going to happen to DDP. Listen, I don't think DDP's getting washed in one round. The dude's too tough. This is the first real 185er that Hamzat has fought. He fought Usman on short notice, who had never fought at 185 before. Then he fought Robert Whitaker, who's always been a small 185er, and had no like he was coming into that fight with a fucking broken ass lower jaw. Not a broken lower jaw, but a very compromised lower jaw. If you saw pictures of it before the fight, he had like three front teeth there. If anything touched those fucking front teeth, they were they were collapsing in his mouth. And that's what Hamzat did. I don't see Hamzat collapsing the jaw of DDP. I don't see it happening. This fight comes down to can Hamzat get him out of there early, or can DDP survive this initial onslaught and then bring it into the later rounds? And right now, I'm still going back and forth. But I think I'm going DDP. I think I'm going DDP to win this one, man. I've got to. Plus 170 on the money line. And Hamza, we've seen him go to deep waters before. He nearly lost that Gilbert Burns fight.
Yeah,
That Kamaru Usman fight, if that was a 5 rounder, what would have happened? Like these are scenarios that we don't know. We haven't seen Hamzat tested like that yet. And DDP, I don't see him being a pushover in the first round. You know, you can go to scenarios like the Derek Brunson fight or the Darren Till fight to kind of say that he's going to get washed on the ground, but that was a long time ago at this point. That was years ago, and he's shown massive improvements since then. So I'm going to say DDP takes Hamzat either by decision or a late finish. I'm going to say DDP by fourth round finish.
I'm going Hamzat. I just can't get the image of him under Brunson and Till back to back. I know he's had his nose surgery, um, and he also got taken down by Robert Whitaker. I know he has, and he also got taken down by Brett Tavares. I forgot about that. But Hamzat is there's two ways to stop Hamzat Chimaev. Okay, the first one is stand in the middle of the cage and don't let him get you to the fence because I think he only has a 46% takedown defense. I think the reason that is he shoots out in the open, right? We know that. And his shots are just to get you to the cage. He's not that great of a wrestler out in the open. He's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. But where he shines is against the fence. He gets you to the fence. He gets a rear body lock or he gets a just a blast elbow or something and gets you down. And I don't think DDP has the octagon control to do that. You know, he he gets backed up and he's a counterpuncher too, which is a good thing for the majority of his fights. But he I don't think he has the takedown defense or the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu submission defense. Not even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, let's be real. It's just kind of raw strength for Hamza. There's not a lot of technique there. But I don't think he has the defense to survive the 7.5 minutes that he needs to against Hamzat. Um, and I think Hamzat chokes him out or beats him up on the bottom. His takedown or his get-ups, DDP, aren't that great either. But they're decent, but he spends time on the bottom, like being controlled. And I don't know. I don't think this is a D. I want him to win so bad. Trust me, I'm a huge DDP fan. I don't think this is the one he wins. Um, so give me Hamzat here, unfortunately. But I'm excited. It's going to be one of
I'm
those
so
fights where
excited for this fight,
the
man.
heart starts pumping. I'm going to be with one of our friends, hopefully. And yeah, start ooh,
This
start
one
the heart
feels like
pumping
it has
now.
real implications to it, you know?
Well, it does. That's the thing with all these fight cards that just have no stakes. Like even 318 had no stakes, you know? Any of the fights. This one, it kind of does. For like if DDP beats Hamzat, he might be the third best middleweight of all time, if he's not already. Maybe. I don't know.
That's oh my god, the world that we would be living in.
I'm super excited. All right. Well, let's jump into regional minute real quick. That was the card. Uh, Not that many this week, so I'll knock them out real quick. Contender Series. Anyway, Contender Series Tuesday, 8 p.m. ESPN Plus. We did an episode breaking down our favorite prospects. I don't believe you were on it, Jeannie, but or you weren't on it, but I know you like some of these prospects. Will you be watching?
Dana White Contender Series?
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I never missed that.
nice. Alrighty. ACA 190, Friday, 10 a.m. You got Magomed Rasul Gasanov, who was the last person to beat Asmet Bekoev. Just FYI, cool thing there. He's going to be beating up some guy, Dmitry Arshiv. I don't know. He's going to lose. I'll tell you that. Magomed Rasul Gasanov is one of the best middleweights on earth, and he's getting paid good in ACA because the UFC won't pay him. You also got Babert Tumanov, former brother, former UFC fighter, super good guy himself. So you got a few. This is Enrique Barzola, Bellator guy. You got a few guys here who are either known or just good. Timur Valiev, did he get dropped from? Wow, I thought he was going to be on PFL, but looks like no. Looks like they dropped him. So that's kind of weird. Um, Excuse me. Good card there. PFL, that's free on their website, by the way. PFL Tournament 9 2025 finals. These are card 2 out of 3 for the finals. These are the three, fourth, third, fourth, and fifth of their 7, I believe, tournament finals. You got Gazi Rajabanov versus Alfie Davis for the 155 strap. Liz Carmouche versus Jenna Bishop for the women's 125 strap, and Marceli Alves versus Justin Wenzel for the 135 belt. A few other fighters on the card you'd know, but nobody crazy. Nobody crazy. ESPN Plus 6:30 p.m. on Friday. LFA 214 going on Friday at 10 p.m. Lucas Fernando, light heavyweight champion. There's Philip Latu, two guys. The winner's probably going to get a contender series shot. Both of them already have had shots. A vacant middleweight championship in the co-main event, and a few guys up and down the card who could be prospects. And then you got a weird Devin Clark versus Bevon Lewis. You remember those guys? Um,
Bevon Lewis.
Bevon Lewis and Devin Clark, two UFC washouts fighting for some reason in LFA. That's on UFC Fight Pass, 10 p.m. Fury AFC 107 Sunday at 2 p.m. UFC Fight Pass. Paris Moran, their flyweight champion, uh, is no, he's not. He should be. I thought he won the flyweight championship. Oh, it was a no contest. Ugh, weed or something, I imagine. But he's going to beat some guy for the flyweight championship. Got Michael Blackhouse, guy I expect to see on the contender series in the co-main, former collegiate wrestler. So should be a good one. And then last but not least, Samurai Fight House 23 is going down Sunday at 5 p.m. Um, you wouldn't know anybody at all. I don't know anybody really, but if you want some Sunday evening fights. So that will do it for Regional Minute. And then before I let you out of here, Jeannie, I'm going pretty long. Real quick, UFC Fight Night, Zhang versus Walker is going to be next Saturday, August 23rd. Main event, Walker Minyang. It's going down in China and Shanghai, so we should get a nice morning, perhaps, fight card. What's your favorite fight on the card?
They start at 3 a.m. my time
Is it 3 a.m.?
for the
Jeez.
prelims. It's 3 a.m. my time.
Was that 6 a.m. Main card?
Main card. That's it. Oh my God,
Ugh,
man. That's pushing it. That's pushing it.
Jesus.
Is this fight card complete? It does not look complete on Google here when I'm looking it up.
You got the two fights that have been announced but aren't official. Michelle Pereira and Kyle Dawkins and Kiefer Crosby and I
Okay, yeah,
like
no, they're not displayed here. But so my favorite fight on this one, I'm gonna just say one that might get overlooked, might get called crappy because of one of these guys. I'm gonna go Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think this is gonna be
alrighty.
a fun fight. I've been saying Waldo's been getting fun, man. Waldo's been
Yep,
showing out recently. Who
he
I
has.
can't remember who he just knocked out in his last fight there. He just got a good win. And Sergey, I mean, there's been some stuff left to be desired from him in his last couple fights, but I think this is going to be a fun fight on the feet, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Fair enough. I'm going the flyweight strap between Loner Kavanaugh and Charles Johnson. Two exciting guys, up and comer versus the vet. I not love. I like watching both of them fight. And then, I'm a sicko. I'm going to co-main too. 5 rounds. Brian Ortega, Aljamain Sterling. Could be awful, but we could get some fun grappling there. But we'll be here to break it down, and we'll be here to break down best bets for UFC 319 as well. So keep an eye out for that. Jeannie, thanks so much for coming on, giving your predictions, even if I disagree with some of them.
Yep.
And thank
Thanks
you
for
for
having
listening,
me.
for watching. we'll see you in a few days for best bets. Adios.